Hi everyone, welcome back to Xamarin.Forms 101. I'm your host, Maddie Legere, and today we're going to look at different ways that users can put values into your app. In a previous Xamarin.Forms 101, we looked at entries and editors, which are text boxes. The editor's a little bit bigger. You can constrain them to just, accept numbers or different types of keyboards. You can make it for passwords and usernames. There's a whole bunch of ways of doing it. But there are also other controls in Xamarin.Forms that might provide a better user experience depending on the kind of data you're trying to get from your user. We're going to jump right into it. I have a file new Xamarin.Forms app where I've just kind of made a kitchen sink of all the controls I want to show you today. And I'm also using XAML hot reload for Xamarin.Forms and our multiple startup projects, which lets me run it on both my Android and iOS at the same time and hot reload at the same time as well. So we'll be able to see what this looks like on both platforms. First and foremost, I want to look at our Boolean versions of value getters or setters. And those are our switch and our checkbox. So the switch, it's the same switch that you'd expect you see this all the time in settings pages and stuff. It's just saying this is on, this is off. And likewise with the checkbox, you can check it on, you can check it off, and you can have multiple checkboxes where users can check just one, they can check all of them. And you can monitor both of these for changes and handle that in your code behind. So for the switch, it's property changed. And it'll make an event handler for you, just like you would handle a click handler in a button. And likewise with your checkbox. You can also set in XAML whether it's toggled on, whether it's even enabled, so I can actually make this false so that my user can't touch it. So you can see this is grayed out, now I can't touch it. And of course you can do things like change the color. So in this one, we'll set the on color to green, save. And then if I check this on and I check it on iOS, it's green. I can also check this thumb color here on Android to look at a different color as well. Likewise with the checkbox, there's a color property. And on that, you can do something like just make sure that the checkbox is aqua when you check it off. And it also does the border. So that's Boolean values. That's your true and false, your yes and no. But you're also probably going to want to get numbers from your users at some point. A popular way to do this for things like a phone number that doesn't have bounds or an address would be an entry, right? Just let them type it in. But sometimes you want to sanity check the numbers that they put in. And for that, you can use steppers and sliders. So a stepper is plus and minus. You check it and you subtract it. And a slider lets you drag. Steppers are really good for integers or things that you have a very defined increment. Sliders are good for things like, how much do you like this? Or like how much do you love this Instagram post? And you put it like 75% of the way up-ish. What you can do with both of these is set the bounds. So with a stepper and a slider, they're both called maximum. So I'll set this to 100 and then minimum and set it to 0. And I'll set the value by default to 50. And you can see I have this label here bound to it, just set the reference of my binding context to the stepper itself. But what I can also do is set an increment. So maybe I want this to go up or down by 5 every single time. And now I have this number 50, my stepper right here, and I can go up, I can go down, and it'll go up in increments of 5. I can also monitor for changes of this. I can always in code behind watch this all the time, but I can also look for changes like property changed or value changed, and I can go into my code behind and handle that like a click handler as well. Likewise with a slider, you can do the same thing with the minimum and maximum. You can also change the colors, which is one of my favorite things. So we'll go into the slider right here and we'll set the thumb color to blue, and we'll set, I think it's the right side color or the maximum side color. Let's see if we can find it. Maximum track color to purple. And then I'll set a maximum of this to 100 and the minimum to 0 as well. Likewise with a slider, you have that property changed event that you can handle. So what's cool with this is now I can drag this, and to the left of my slider is going to turn white. And that's a really good visual cue to your users that you want that, they've moved it this far. Maybe you could make the right side green and the left side red, and that can be their satisfaction or something. Finally, we have date and time pickers. So date time is obviously a very different and more complicated value than just numbers. And the operating systems themselves have built-in date and time pickers that you see in things like your calendar app and your alarm app. So we can take a look at what they look like. This is the date picker on iOS on the left, and then likewise with Android on the right. And they're pretty different, but you can still customize them using your Xamarin.Forms XAML in a couple different ways. So you can, of course, set the date that you want it to default to. You can set minimum and maximum dates, minimum and maximum times, and you can set your colors. So we'll set the text color of this to green, and we'll set the text color of our time picker to blue. Hit save. Bam. You can see that updates those controls right away, just like you would an entry or a label. You can also monitor both of these for changes. So if I type in changed, I'll see property changed. Likewise here. And I can go into my code behind and handle that as a click event. That way, if I'm trying to figure out what someone's date of birth is, if they change it a couple times, I can see that. If not, I can just access this by its name and use it in my code behind. That is the basics of value setting controls in Xamarin.Forms, not entries and editors. We already did those. You can always check the documentation. I will link to the individual docs for all of these controls in the show notes so you can see a little bit more about the properties, but hopefully this gives you a good idea of what you can do pretty easily in XAML with Xamarin.Forms. See you next time.
Hey, it's James, checking in on your Xamarin.Forms journey into mobile development. Don't forget to do all the things such as like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell so you get all of the latest episodes in your inbox. And while you're here, check out all these awesome Xamarin.Forms 101 videos right here. Get going now.